Hello everyone, amateur meteorologist FirstinWeather here. It is February 14th, 2018. It is a Sunday night, and we do have a lot to talk about. We had a very active day, followed by a very active Saturday, where we had lots of severe weather down in Texas. In fact, that violent tornado in Franklin, Texas. Today there's a lot of severe weather down in the eastern portions of the southeast, and even in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and the Midwest. There was a lot of severe weather, and on the backside, the cold side of that system, we had some heavy snow in Chicago and Michigan. In fact, Chicago saw 5.4 inches of snow, the second snowiest day in April since 1961, I believe. So yeah, very, very extreme weather that we've been having for the past few days. And now, as we get closer to the overnight, we have that main line finally pushing through, this line right here. And so we do have, the National Weather Service has been monitoring this all day. In fact, they do have actually an enhanced risk of severe weather. If I go to the day one convective outlook, you can see much more detail. So you have a really wide area of slight risk for severe weather, and then right here you have this little pocket of enhanced risk of severe weather. And enhanced, once again, is in the 3 out of 5 range for severe weather. And so the National Weather Service believes that the main threat will be small hail and damaging wind gusts, with tornadoes not being the biggest threat, with wind and hail really being the primary concerns, mostly wind as of that. And so now let's look at some of the models and analyze what's going to happen tonight. In fact, I was looking at some of the soundings earlier today. They were looking very impressive for late this afternoon in central Virginia and the eastern United States. However, those storms did not really materialize. In fact, the main line of storms was really ahead of this primary line of storms was really right around here into here. So the mostly populated areas really missed out, but along the Appalachians and even into western Pennsylvania, they really saw lots of severe weather, multiple tornado warnings, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. So they really saw a lot out of this. Now, if we take this through time, we see that this line progressively strengthens according to the NAM, and then around 6Z Monday, so that's around 12 a.m. Sunday, 1 a.m. Monday. If we go deep in and we look at the sounding for this, let's go right here. We can see that this definitely is not bad. If we look at this, we have respectable Cape, high 1,000. That's not bad. That's pretty good. We have a bit of a dry layer right here. We have winds. We have strong directional wind shear, or strong vertical wind shear. So we have weak winds, then suddenly very strong winds in a very short rise. Rise in altitude. We also do have a bit of directional shear, but it's not really that respectable. So that's why the tornado threat is quite low. It just goes like this, then it's in the same direction throughout. So that's why the tornado threat is not as high. If we go back a little bit and click on the sounding again, we can see that it's about the same thing. Very strong vertical wind shear, but not that much directional shear. Some respectable Cape values here, dry level here. So definitely is indicative that there is potential for severe weather. If we go a little further north, for example, right here, let's see what it's showing us. Yep, same thing. Little less Cape values, better dry layer, and here there is more of directional wind shear as well as vertical wind shear. So that's definitely more positive there for tornadoes. If we zoom out into the regional or CONUS view and click on the sounding up here, southeastern Pennsylvania, we will see that we also have slightly more favorable conditions for tornado formation. Not much Cape, however. Now if we go, let's say here, we can see that we also once again have slightly better directional shear, slightly less Cape. So basically, it looks like the primary location. Actually, no, let me check one more area for Cape. Well, right here. Definitely here more vertical wind shear, directional wind shear as you go up with altitude. If we go to the northeast specifically, we go right here. Let's see what happens. So yeah, definitely much more directional wind shear. If we go here, let's see what it is. Yeah, so I think with Cape and then directional and vertical wind shear, I think the sweet spot is going to be right around here. I think for severe weather especially, or yeah, for severe weather obviously, the sweet spot is going to be right around here for the greatest chance of seeing tornadoes. And again, the tornado chance is quite low. However, this is where I feel like if there were going to be tornadoes, this is where the greatest risk is going to be for some very damaging winds, brief spin-up tornadoes. Nothing long-lived, but I think this is where the greatest chances for the most severe weather out of any of the areas. So this is where I have my, if I was the National Weather Service, this is where I would have my enhanced, and I would have my, and maybe even I would have my enhanced going all the way back to here to do that strong directional wind shear. Then basically everywhere else I would have slight, and then I would have marginal down here. So I'm pretty much in agreement with the National Weather Service on where I believe the severe weather risk should be in terms of enhanced, slight, and marginal. This is just one model. If we go to the rapid update model, rapid refresh, we can see that it's pretty much the same deal. We have that primary line moving in later tonight. And so if you look at some of the soundings, if you go to the middle of Pennsylvania, it's showing a very similar story. However, the rapid refresh model has definitely less directional wind shear and more vertical wind shear. If we go a little further south, let's see, right here, we can see that again, just mostly vertical wind shear. If we go further north, we can see that once again, but here, if you go up north, you can see that it's a lot more directional wind shear and also vertical wind shear. So that again, with the NAM and the rapid refresh, I would say the greatest risk would be pretty much right here. Or no, that's too big. The greatest risk would be right around here and then going back up into here. So really, right, I'm basically in agreement with the National Weather Service on this one. I do feel like the greatest risk will be here for tornadoes and severe weather. And now if we go back to the CONUS view, we can see that these, once this line passes through, if we go to the 12 km NAM, once the line passes through, Monday should be a pretty nice day actually for the area. We'll have breezy conditions, it'll be nice, maybe some few snow showers and rain showers in the interior portions of the Northeast, but other than that, it should be quite nice. So that pretty much sums up this video, guys. Stay safe from the severe weather tonight, and I'll see you in my next video.